This is an interesting feature. So this is from Microsoft. They've been teasing this for a little while, and it's been in some early access channels, and that is Windows Autopatch. If any, I'm going to put my sysadmin hat back on real quick. Looks strangely like this hat, but it says sysadmin on it.
More green.
Yeah, it says bad mother on it. So any sysadmins who have ever gone through the absolute misery of configuring WSUS, that is Windows Server Update Service, or gosh, what is the replacement for that? SCCM. SCCM. So for anyone who's ever gone through the absolute hell of getting a WSUS or SCCM server up and running in your organization, we're all hoping that this will be not as horrific. And that is Windows Autopatch. Basically, what they are doing is they are taking Windows Update Service, but a service... let's back up a little bit. For those who don't know, Windows Server Update Service is a service that you can run on premises for your organization, and you basically host Microsoft updates yourself. So your client systems will query your server to find out if updates are available, and your server will allow them to download, all locally, Windows updates, as well as updates for like Office and things like that. You can also, through that server, allow or deny updates to take place. So let's say your organization runs a particular version of hardware, and there's a driver that comes through that messes up something in your organization. You can block or blacklist that particular update. So for large organizations, it is an incredibly powerful tool and a very necessary tool to help control the flow of Windows updates. But it is an absolute bear to manage, deploy, maintain. It's some of the worst written software that Microsoft has ever come out with, and that's saying something. Yeah, SCCM is actually just a front end for WSUS. Yes, I know. But WSUS used to be its own, like you would go to WSUS, the interface, just like you would go to Windows Deployment Services or Active Directory or Group Policy Editor, and you would manage that in their weird table format, and it was awful. SCCM streamlined that process slightly, but it's still WSUS underneath it. Anyway, Autopatch is hoping to basically take that on-prem service and turn it into a cloud service that your organization can still subscribe to manage your organization's updates, taking the hassle out of trying to manage that middle layer of Windows Update databases between Microsoft and your end users' computers. So this is a service that will work for Windows 10 and Windows 11. And according to the article, at the moment, it will host driver, firmware, Microsoft 365 apps for enterprise. So Windows 10 and 11 and drivers and firmware. All I can say is, like I said, I hope it is easier to actually deploy, because, man, I have lost weeks of my life to WSUS servers. And I'm not exaggerating that in the slightest. I have lost weeks of my life fixing problems, getting them to work right, getting them to work at all. Yeah.
Me too.
Hell is for sysadmin and DevOps, but probably InfoSec also. Yeah. WSUS kind of affects all ends of your organization, both front end and back end, both production and support. So yeah, WSUS is one of those ones that can easily rock just about every corner of your your company or org. Always interesting to see how updates ruin my week. Yes.